Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the annual award presentation for the best creature in a myth or folktale. It's a great honor to be here, and let me start by introducing myself to you. I am Shelly Harris, and I'll be presenting this year's award along with co-presenters Kelly Osterbrink and Kenneth Lopez. I'm sure each of you has a favorite creature you love, adore, or even fear from your favorite bedtime story or myth by the campfire. But what makes us choose the creatures we love and which creature is the best of the best? First, let's start off by finding out what it takes to be called the best creature. Nominees are chosen for their resiliency and strength, the powers or special abilities they can unleash, and the epic battles the creatures have been engaged in, and how many. For example, vampires and werewolves in the Twilight Saga or Underworld Blood Wars. How believable are they, and what evidence have we found over the centuries? These creatures bring us fear, anger, happiness, and a plethora of other emotions. They have been brought to us in Shakespearean stories like A Midsummer Night's Dream with the King and Queen of Fairies, Oberon and Titiana, or Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid. Through the centuries, stories, and now movies keep these creatures on the verge of reality and myth, where the believability of the creature and our fascination intersect. There have been numerous sightings, encounters, and even evidence that these amazing creatures have existed for centuries. What's our fascination with these creatures, and what kind of physical evidence do we have? For many of us, a simple sighting, a footprint, or noise is evidence enough for these creatures to exist. There have been numerous accounts of Bigfoot spotted in the Michigan woods by hunters, thunderbirds by Algonquin folklore seen flying over the Alaskan tundra, and werewolves in England, unicorns in Scotland, and even Icelandic lake monsters that slither into trees. Ugh. There have been documented sightings as far back as ancient Greece, Persia, and medieval Europe of griffins. And today, how many times have we gone camping in the woods, hoping to encounter a centaur or Sasquatch, or enjoying a peaceful moonlit night fishing only to be disrupted by a mesmerizing mermaid, or worse, a kappa looking to steal your shirikodama? No matter your creature of choice, we love them for the many emotions they evoke, which makes them all the more believable. And now I'll turn it over to Kenneth as he explains the process of awarding the best creature in a myth or folktale.
Hi everyone, my name is Kelly. First I'd like to say thank you, Kenneth, for that enlightenment on our project of the process. And now moving forward, I will be conducting the award presentations. So now each of our nominees that we have picked were based off of the following judging criteria. Now, the thought process, as Kenneth had explained earlier, consisted of the following questions we asked ourselves and discussed, like believability of the creature, which one could have really existed based on folklore, fiction, nonfiction, all of that good stuff. Which mythical creature spans several cultures, example, the phoenix appears in Greek, Egyptian, and Indian mythology. Which mythical creature evokes the most fear, the most inspiration, the most impact? Because off of that, we asked ourselves which creature was seen in the most movies or featured in the most movies. And, time and time again, movies are remade and certain creatures are, the story is being changed and stuff like that. Another question was, what makes this creature the best mythical creature? And out of all those questions, we came down to three topics that we based our judging off of the criteria, which is resilience and strength, powers and special abilities, epic battles. Now, the moment that everyone's waiting for is who are the nominees. After the process, we decided on to do 5. So, the first of 5 is the Sphinx. Now, the Sphinx has a body of a lion with a human head, male or female. Egyptian mythology dating back 4,000 years, the Sphinx is associated with guardianship. Frequently placed architecturally at the entrance of a building or a city. The oldest and most famous Sphinx is probably the Great Sphinx of Giza, which is situated along the west bank of the Nile River near the city of Cairo in Egypt, as a guardian of the ancient tombs. One of the most intellectual of all mythical creatures, known for its fondness of riddles, and according to legend, anyone who was unable to solve the riddle of the Sphinx was not only forbidden to pass, they were immediately devoured. Now, our second nominee, personally my favorite, is the Phoenix. Only because finding the visual aid for this, the only time I've ever seen a phoenix in a film is in Harry Potter, and I thought that the visual was really good as far as explaining and understanding what the phoenix is. So background is legend appears in a variety of ancient mythologies, including Greek, Egyptian, and Indian, usually depicted as an eagle or other bird of prey, but may also resemble a heroine in its delicate majesty. In most mythologies associated with the rising of the sun and has a close relationship to the sun god Ra. And only one can exist at a time. When it senses its life is coming to an end about once every 1,000 years, the phoenix builds itself up and consumes itself in flames. As the old phoenix is reduced into ashes, a new one rises to begin its life on Earth. So hopefully these two visual aids are relatable. Well, not relatable, but you know where it's from, and they're helpful. The next nominee we have is Pegasus from Greek mythology. This one was a pretty obvious creature to pick, and easy. A winged horse said to be the son of Poseidon and Medusa, the favorite of artists that inspired paintings and sculptures, constellation for Pegasus, a gift from Zeus upon his death, and was also featured in Hercules, one of my favorite Disney movies. Now, our next nominee, we have dragons, also one of my favorite mythical creatures. And if you're not familiar, this is from Game of Thrones. That's who I got the gift from, because the imaging and everything is really great. Dragons. The myth goes back through the ages, at least 4,000 years. They are commonly depicted as large flying reptiles that breathe fire or shoot deadly poison from their nostrils. Tales of these giant beasts date to the dawn of human existence. They've also inspired many young warriors to take up arms, bravely trying to prevent a malevolent dragon from consuming a fair maiden. Fairy tales. On the other hand, some cultures actually revere the dragon for being gentle and wise. In China, dragons are a symbol of courage and heroism and are seen as protectors of the community. Our next and last nominee we have is the centaur from Greek mythology, part man, part horse. Stuck between two worlds, that of the wild beast and that of the civilized human being, described as rowdy warrior types prone to heavy drinking and other primal excesses, which often brought them into conflict with their more cultured cousin, man. One exception is the great and wise Chiron, a gifted healer and respected intellectual. Now that we have gone through the nominees, it gives me great pleasure to announce the winner. So, with that being said, congratulations to the Phoenix. The Phoenix is our winner for mythological creatures. And moving forward, we will go back to Shelly to conclude. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kelly and Kenneth, for the amazing award show. It's great to be back with you all to present the conclusion of our experience in awarding the best creature of a myth or folktale. Creating the award presentation was a bit challenging at times, but a lot of fun. We were given about a month to get to know one another and decide on the award we wanted to present, and ultimately to create the presentation. We communicated mainly through email and throughout the Google Chat feature on Google Docs and slides. Some of the problems we encountered throughout this process were that all three presenters had responsibilities outside of school, such as full-time work or caring for children or family members, as well as last-minute emergencies, all of which made it challenging for both communications and coordinating times to meet. In the end, we made it work. Another challenge is that we also are on different islands, which make meeting in person difficult. There were also issues for some of us with a lack of features available in Google Slides. It did not provide some of the functions that we wanted to be able to make use of. And one of the biggest problems for us also was deciding on which creature to award, because there are so many great ones out there. The goals for next time: more frequent and timely communications. An ultimate goal would be to meet in person. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us this evening for the best creature in a myth or folktale.